October. We're gonna go ahead and open the meeting and turn it over to Mr. Shockley. Well, wait a minute, we gotta approve the minutes of, September 20th and October 4th. She sent them to us, I didn't go over, I didn't see no issues.
I would make a motion to approve those, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I signed these, or you got your own?
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure I get them signed. At this time, we'll turn it over to old business to Mr. Shockley, the surveyor of Carroll County.
The first thing under old business is the George Hutt drain, which is the Camden drain. At our last meeting, we approved, the town taking over jurisdiction of the part of the drain in town. And also, they had a resolution to accept the, payments for, they were gonna pay the assessment fees for the town, owners that was in the watershed. So Ted has, made our, legal papers to give to them. We basically need to sign them. I think last meeting we had approved, Steve signed, but we didn't get them done until today, so, we just, we have a motion to approve them.
Motion to approve and authorize the signing of the orders.
Well, did you get that? I was accused of being, I can't remember, untruth
Yeah.
person, cause I don't think this is what they actually wanted. I got an email from the vice president of the town council, because the standard council president, Andy, or council member Andy was here last drainage board meeting, and he started throwing a fit that they was accepting the payment on this. So I don't think they understand what's going on. They thought we weren't gonna be doing any payments, and they was just gonna be taking over the drain, and nobody in town's paying. So I still think we're in a mess with this. No one, I was supposed to be the contact person, and no one's ever contacted me, but all I do is get crap from them.
They have, as of 20th of September, jurisdiction of everything that's in the town corporation. They have a right to assess for the maintenance of the George Hutt within the town, or they could do it under their stormwater utility. But there still is a George Hutt drain, and it is both south of town and a little bit north of town. That drain is not going away. That's still under the jurisdiction of the county drainage board, and there will continue to be assessments for that. And the statutes also provide, in other words, the George Hutt drain, all those tile branches that are within the town of Camden are now totally under the town's jurisdiction, and they can assess for that. They can actually set up a separate maintenance fund for those branches, but they will likely not want to do that because they've got a stormwater utility.
Right.
So, the only assessments that the county drainage board is going to be doing relate to the outlet, basically. In other words, if, and Indiana statutes, the Indiana statutes say that if a municipality has drains, which will now include the George Hutt drains, and any new improvements that they build, if they outlet into a county regulated drain, which this is, then there will be assessment for the outlet, but not for the interior of the drains.
So basically, they're gonna be collecting the money for the north end of it that's not in the town and the south end of it.
The county will, yeah.
And then it'll just be, town will be assessed, whatever all the landowners inside of that was supposed to be assessed, and they will pay, it will be their one bill. They're not in charge of collecting money from the landowners, like he said in that letter, or email.
They could if they wanted to, but they've got a stormwater utility.
They do have
I already pay
plans.
like $48 a year for storm wattage, for water.
And the other thing that they gain by this is that the Indiana code is very clear that when you transfer jurisdiction of a regulated drain to a municipality, they get all of the rights of entry and easements for those drains. So they don't have to pay residents to go in. If there's something in the George Hunt system in the town of Camden that they could fix, you know, they may say that they wanna replace it all and never use it again, but, if they would need to or want to replace or repair something that's, in the current George Hunt system that's in the town of Camden, they have the legal right to do that. They don't have to go pay, property owners for new easements or anything like that. So, it really is a win-win. And-
Plus, they do have plans to,
Right.
direct our outlet
Redirect
water,
it.
and once they do that, then they won't have to pay us.
Right, that's
Strictly-
correct.
But you see how we acted the last meeting?
I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
But they do not they don't all understand it. I think their attorney understands it. And that's why those, resolutions,
I mean, so far.
those resolutions were not prepared by me. Those were resolutions that were prepared by their attorney.
Well, I'm just getting tired of getting emails and letters sent to me. That one was sent to my email at work from Mr. Shaw.
If there's anything else you think I can do to explain the situation, or you want me to put the explanation I've given you in a letter and send it to you, what? Anything I can do to,
I quit going to their meetings because
yeah.
I was supposed to be the contact information, and no one
Right.
never said anything to me what's going on, or how it's going on, or what's our, because I was waiting on them to come to me because it was their deal. I mean, they blamed us for not communicating nothing, but it seems like it was all on them. We're willing, and we did it, but I don't know why I'm still getting them, so.
My opinion was that all along the line, we were trying to do what they wanted done. And it seemed like we just kept getting kicked back because it never worked out to be just what they wanted done, or we couldn't understand what they wanted done, or something.
And they did get a grant to start that, to do the outlet part, and I did send them an email when I seen they got the grant, to see kind of what their plans and thoughts were, and I sent it to the town of Camden, and they basically told me I had to contact the attorney. I couldn't, they weren't gonna work with me at all. So, I mean, so I've been in contact with the attorney.
So why are we
That has to-
going through with this then?
No, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done, I know it's
Yeah,
done,
but, just so you know, I mean, we're waiting on plans to, I mean, the final plans, construction plans, I'm sure they haven't got yet, because we just got the grant, but I was even like, just a preliminary, when they sent out the grant, show what they were gonna do.
They're stuck on that one person that's the biggest, but.
Yeah.
At the end of it, and they're still mad at him. And we really didn't have a dog in the fight,
Not at all.
so, all right, I'm sorry, guys.
The motion would be to authorize, to approve and authorize the signature of these orders.
To do what?
To approve the form and authorize the signature of these two orders. One is for the, approving their, confirming the, transfer of jurisdiction of the George Hunt drain within the local limits of Camden, and the second one accepts their resolution that they want to be billed for any, George Hunt assessments. Two orders. Yeah.
That in here?
Yes, that's in the second one. The first one,
One stay with the other.
you actually approved their resolutions at your last meeting, so these are just the orders that confirm. They put it in writing, and Don will be able to send copies of these to the town council.
Make a motion.
One relates to the town assuming responsibility for payment of the assessments, and the other one confirms the transfer of jurisdiction.
So we got two different motions.
Or you
to
can
put
do
them on.
both of them, one motion for both orders.
I'll make the motion.
That's separate there. It's these two here that Tommy just handed us. Let's staple together.
Say together, yeah.
There, Carroll, you just have,
These two here.
I think so.
These are his states.
Okay. That's it right there. Yeah, that's it. We do that. Yeah, that's sweet, baby.
Okay, so I'm making the motion that he just proposed.
You go second one? I'll second. All right, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I've got these two here, son.
You get those signed?
Yeah.
Couple copies of that, and just keep one in the file and then send it in. You want one signed, you, Ted, or?
No, I don't. Donnie, there's a typo on the assessment, first page. I'll fix it, or Beth can fix it. Get to the fourth line. It says, within, it needs to be within, take off the G, did you see that?
Oh, within,
Yeah, just take off that G
Okay.
and substitute page, doesn't affect the meaning or
Okay.
signatures.
Okay. With that being done, the next thing on the old business is update on, village of Deer Creek. And we are, actually, their contractor moved in there right now, we got the pipe in. So we're getting ready to start, trying to meet with Al yet this afternoon to, for the outlet, we gotta go out and move it onto that island, and get it towards not draining the old river, Bear Creek bed, so. We'll see on that, try to eliminate as much damage as possible there. There are a couple of the trees that might need to be taken out, whatever. So hopefully that'll be done here pretty soon. Kings on Hollow, after our last special meeting, I did send that stuff in, and they did give them a performance bond, but they want $1,100 and some a year for 2 years. They were requiring 2 years more, so, no more work than they have left to do. He's trying to get the contractor back in there and just finish work to be done with it, so we don't have to deal with it, so. After the special meeting, we worked here to get it lowered, it may not even go in because of the price afterwards. He thought it might be a couple $100, which was not a big deal, but, make it back $1,100 or something. Kinda crazy. I mean, they don't have that much work left to do, I don't think, even if I included. So, we'll hopefully have something, supposed to be getting back with me this week on that, to find out when they're gonna get it done, so. New business, I have one new work order, 3521, it's number 104 William Park Drain, down there, on the county line, 800 south, 200 east, or 2 sinkholes in the waterway, we're gonna, hopefully do that this next week, after all rain stop now, so, take care of that. Next thing is the number 8, Clark Lowry, drain. It's on the south of the Carroll, School Corporation out there, with basically, 250 east and, 100 south is where the work is being done. We was in the process of, replacing, 500-foot of tile through the woods right there, and we contact, Mr. Mills here, to do that, and he informed me of a, there was a, what do you call it,
Agreement here.
yeah, the agreement between the drainage board and that, and then I also, do that, I took that to Ted, and Ted reviewed it, and it looked like they were responsible for all root issues in the woods. So, I talked to Mr. Mills, and then actually pulled the, when they went back into the minutes from when they done that, and in the minutes it showed that they were just supposed to have been the roots of the trees that he planted or requested to be stayed within the right of way of that drain and the tile. So, but, talking with Ted, he said that, the contract was recorded, so it holds more, control than just minutes from me. It's just, this is more informational. So after talking with Ted, what we done was ran a camera, but, trying to find what was slowing the water down. We found some spots in there that was probably, and within the first 30 foot, we had like 3 spots that was probably a third flood with roots. I mean, in the bottom half of it, so it's holding the water back. And in talking with Ted, since, there was kind of this miscommunication between what was in the actual grant act, he suggested, doing it to where maybe the landowner pays 1/3 of the damages, and then the maintenance fund takes care of the rest of the work in there. Being that it wasn't, it's not completely plugged or nothing like that, but we want to get it to where there's less joints chance, because it's kind of old concrete tile, there's a bunch of sinkholes back there, where it's taking water into the joints, they're getting old. And so I talked with Mr. Mills this morning, and he seemed to be all right in doing a third of it. That, we also talked about, possibly doing like the payback over, just adding more to his assessment for the next, 4 or 5 years, wherever you guys, whatever he would prefer. And that way bring it down to closer, we're probably, I'm expecting maybe the most, like $18,000 for the whole project, 76,000. So it would be like, you know, like $1,000 or a little over 1,000 instead of all 6,000 at once, so. But I mean, he can.
Is this still on assessment being collected?
It's still on assessment being collected.
Is there enough money in there to pay for the whole thing?
Man, we're gonna be using some money out of improvement fund to pay for it. And we pay back, but, I mean, we have money in improvement fund.
Are you good with that, Mr. Miller?
Yes, I have to talk to my wife. We're getting along in years, and we got 2 daughters that will inherit that place. And, the possibility I might, if you would accept it, pay the whole thing now and be done with it. And I assume the county then is gonna take over that drain and do everything else that has to be done.
That would work.
I mean, we can do away with that
It would rescind that, agreement for any future.
This agreement was entirely different from what I thought it was, and I don't wanna go into it, and we will if you want to, but it just was a surprise. I thought that I took that thing around, had everybody sign it, and it just wasn't what I thought it was. And, so it's kind of a surprise to me, and I wanna get the thing settled. And if you wanna go with this, 6,000, I figured sooner or later we're gonna be paying that anyway. And, I'd have to talk to my wife, but like I say, it would be possibly beneficial to us if we just pay the whole thing off and be done with it. And then the county would take over that drain completely. But the original agreement on was I was to go through there and pick out the trees I wanted to keep and then assume the responsibility for the roots of those trees, but it didn't work out that way, and there were some other things, well, I won't go into all that. If we can settle this thing, I'd sure appreciate it.
I'm a little lost here as to why Mr. Mills has to pay more than anybody else anyway, but is it just because he contractually agreed to it back there?
Yeah, cause right now, you're not supposed to plant anything within 75 foot of the drain, each side. So, and I think when he's told me that they reduced it down to 25 foot, plus he was planting some trees even closer than that, yeah, so that's where, I mean, that was worked out between him, cause he does, I mean, it's a nice woods, I mean, and at that time, I'm sure he was taking a lot of your biology classes out there and stuff like that, and doing stuff. And it just, yeah.
Your wife was my third grade teacher.
Pardon?
Your wife was my third grade teacher.
Yeah,
Been a few years ago.
that was a few years ago, we had, I can't think now, but like I say, it just didn't turn out like I thought it was. And I wanna get the thing settled, and, there's been a couple of times on our taxes, we assessed for the Lowry drain. And there's another drain goes into that one, and, it comes through the corner of my woods also, so whatever, there's no large trees in there. When they put that drain in, to drain the southern part of our farm, plus across the road, to what my brother owned, which his kids have it now, and I don't know how far that goes, but, there's something that we should take a look at too. And if you have to clear some of that stuff out on that drain, go ahead.
Where's that going, north?
Yes,
Along the west side of the
it comes in
property?
from the east through the southern half of my 80 acres, our 80 acres.
Mhm.
And it goes across and on, an 80 acres my brother owned, and it drains that too. Now, that's part of the county, I think. And I don't know whether you have a map that have that on there or not.
Yeah, we'll have to look and see, I didn't bring any of the maps up with me.
Are you replacing the tile or just go to?
We're replacing that whole, cause basically what it is, we got a small air well on the west end of the woods that was, we had some issues with that, so we had that repaired earlier. And now, when we go through there with the other end by the road, we're gonna put another air well, hopefully a little bigger opening, so we can run a jetter down through it the next time and just clean the rooms out with this smooth bore plastic and, we can,
Well, hopefully it won't be very hard.
yeah, so.
And you have to remove any of those trees to do that?
No, I think, well, he's talking about wanting to look at possibly selling the big walnut, and then there's maybe one set of, oh, there's like 4 trees growing together.
There were two large trees there on the south side of the ditch. There's another one on the north side that's almost right in the ditch. Now, you take that one out, okay.
It's
The
like
other
a-
two I would like to leave alone.
Mhm. Yeah, I think,
And
I
if you
mean,
put those new tile in you've got, I don't see how the roots are gonna get in there.
yeah, no, that's what we're hoping it won't, I mean, there was one that was like saying, like, it was almost right down in the ditch, it was, got like 4 sprouts out of a big, I mean, it's one big tree, but it's got like, parts into 4 real quick. That would be the only one that we might have an issue with, depending on how it gets there, but. Yeah, yeah, it was all, I mean, they're all like 10 or 12 inches or something like that.
Just wanting to work it out with the surveyor?
My opinion is we wanna work with Mr. Mills however we can, and whatever you think is fair, that's what we wanna do.
Well, like I say, I wanna get the thing settled, and I would like for a couple of those trees to stay, and if I can, but I like my woods and, but, like I say, I'd like to clear this thing up for the girls when they, well, in fact, they've already taken over, we signed everything over to them. And, possibly I'll talk to my wife and possibly we'll just take this thing off now and be done with it, rather than spread it out. But that's, if you think you wanna do it the other way, that's okay with me.
No, we just figured it'd be easier, I mean, just, I just thought maybe it'd be easier to pay it over time, if you didn't have the money all at once, I mean, we give that option, and we work with the landowners trying to do that, so, but it's totally up to you on that.
I don't think he wants to leave a burden on his children, maybe paying that, I think that's what he's trying to do.
It's finished, over.
We should do an agreement with them, right?
Yes, because it's recorded, that contract was recorded, and we need another document signed by both the owners and the drainage board, rescinding that contract and putting the terms of what the parties' agreement is for the present situation. So, do we have an amount then?
No, we haven't done the work yet, I mean, I'm just kinda, I know the pipe was $10,600, so, and he was, the contractor was saying, he was saying right around this ballpark, then you know, around 6,000, but, we haven't, I mean, until it gets done, we won't know, I mean, we can, I mean, we'll have that done within quite a couple
Well,
of weeks,
let's
so.
just do this, he says he wants to pay the 6,000, he just pays the 6,000, everything else comes out of the drain fund. Does that sound fair? To me, that sounds kinda fair.
Are these all of the people that in 1968?
Yeah, that's the ones he went and got the signatures for.
Okay, so there's probably not that many owners now affected by it, right? It's probably been consolidated some of the land, and we're not sure about that,
They
okay?
probably wouldn't have needed to sign that consent.
Okay,
That's not part of the contract. That was to, it was probably to convince the board to do this. This is kind of an extraordinary thing. You wouldn't do this today.
well, along that line, why don't we just rescind the whole obligation that he has and just do it, like we would any other drain? Why does he have a special obligation here, just because it's contract, right?
Correct.
Well, let's just rescind the darn contract.
You got in the fund, how much you have in that thing, so.
Well, I took it into the negative already, so labor going, you know, that improvement fund, but I mean, well, I mean, what it's gonna come down to, we're getting ready, we're probably gonna have a hearing next year anyway to raise the rates anyway, so.
So another vote has that,
Let's see what he's trying to do, we're still putting the burden on his family if we rescind this contract, then his siblings will have to still pay the,
Now, if we do away with this contract, then
well, they'll still have to pay the, what's it called?
Assessment.
The
you just
assessment.
pay the assessment like everybody else over here does, right? And you've got the money in the fund, I don't see why we're penalizing Mr. Mills here. I'd like to just, I'd like to rescind this contract and just fix the drain.
Is that possible, Ted?
Sure.
I get a motion.
I will.
So there'll be a document, and it'll need to be signed by the board and by the owner, to rescind that. Then that document also will need to be recorded. So I'll prepare the document.
Okay.
So then he would just be responsible for the recording fee then, or would we?
The recorder here is very kind. She generally records anything with the county's name on. It's on for free. She's very good. The Clinton County, no, she was, every dollar.
So my motion is to rescind this contract and, just do the drain as it would normally be done, or?
That's.
From the drainage
To rescind the
maintenance fund?
contract.
Huh?
Move to rescind the contract.
Move. Okay.
And instruct me to prepare the document that needs to be signed by
Okay.
the parties.
Include that in it.
You want to second that? All right, I have a motion to rescind the contract, all in favor?
All right,
Aye. Motion passes.
we just took it away.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, as I understand, this drain will go back to under control of the county.
Right.
All right, now, and the money that I can do this over a period of time or pay it all off at once.
With the six, you don't pay anything.
You don't pay anything.
It's gone.
We just wiped it out. All you have to do is pay your assessment every year.
Yeah, they took care of it, we're gonna take care of the whole project.
I didn't expect this.
It's all right, we wanna work with you.
Very much, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Mr. Mills, everybody in the community appreciates what you've done for years.
Well, thank you again. Thank you again. It's,
And then I'll get with you when we get ready to get back out there, maybe we can get down there and see, you can,
Okay.
or if you, have one of your kids even mark the trees you want to keep, or if we have any question, we can, we'll get it worked out, or,
I hope my wife did a good job for your wife.
He can't read.
Well, I can't count either.
And do we got anything else, man?
Frank Gifford once said, the secret of life is find something you like to do, then find someone who'll pay you to do it, and both of us teaching, we found it.
Well, that's good.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, other than that, I did forget, on the George Hunt, we did get the letters mailed out to the 7 landowners, and then next month will be a hearing of that. So if they have a chance to send letters in or whatever, come in, so. But with that, budget update, we did get our budgets back from the council. The only thing we really up from last year was asking, Ted was wanting to go up, very little on his, salary, and they approved that, so. For the monthly thing, and then, mileage for the month of September, 723 miles, most of that was, trip to Indianapolis for training on GIS, and the trip to Florence, Indiana, which is clear down on the Ohio River for our annual conference, for some meetings down there ahead of time, so. Money received for the month of September, $475, year to date so far is $4,050. Next drainage board meeting, say it'll be 11 o'clock on Monday, November 15th, 11, but with the hearing is set for 11:15, so we really need to try to be ready to go on that one.
Bruce, that meeting along.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Entertain a motion to,
Second?
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Drainage boards? Adjourned.
We're done.
Right, I gotta go to work.
thanks
Thank you,
again,
gentlemen.
really appreciate it.
Mr. Shockley.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in.